Hi, good morning everyone, welcome back. This is the Centurion D6 Smart. I'll quickly open it and just, you can see. The only difference between this sliding gate motor and the Centurion D5 Evo Smart is number one, the electrical motor. This is a 24 volt motor. The whole gate motor is a 24 volt operating system. It has a different power supply on it. It has space for two batteries. It's a little bit higher, and obviously the controller card is 24 volts. So in a nutshell, the differences between them are height of the motors, the added battery, and the 24 volt system with a bigger electrical motor. And the nice thing about the D6 Smart is that you can take the power supply and upgrade it to a power pack. Let's quickly just unplug and remove some of the components. What we want to get to is to the gearbox system. That's a concerning aspect. The Centurion system says 200,000 cycles, which is a lot. The big thing is, will of the internal components make it? You see, I'm just taking a screwdriver, just prying it open and clipping it. Let's just get the door open. There we go. Get the right screwdriver there. So that's how easy it is. Basically, the whole motor has been disassembled. We're just going to quickly remove the electrical motor and get into the gearbox. They've again changed the manual release door switch. But in any case, right, let's quickly get to it. So these Torexes are size 25. They are only secured into a base, a plastic base, which means that you only need to hand tighten these screws. Wouldn't even want to guess what the Newton meters on them are, but it's going to be not much. Right, there's your electrical motor. See if we can get it into the picture there. 3,500 RPM. When we put it in gear, it's easier just to allow you to remove the worm shaft. It's a nice short fat one. Let's get a syringe, see how much oil we're removing from the gearbox. Right, to the right of the gate motor you can see a small tot glass. It's a container for the oil. Just want to pick up the camera and tilt it into the gearbox so that you can see the gearbox oil level. It's a mere 23-24 milliliters of oil. That's all oil that is needed for this gate motor to operate and function for years to come. Then just to the left of it, this hole here, that slot has been closed up. That's where the initial D3 Smarts had a dipstick to check oil level. And let's quickly suck it out. This is a 10 milliliter syringe. Six and a half milliliters of oil. The rest is obviously on the main drive gear side. Let me just quickly get all of it out. In a nutshell, this is basically the gearbox system of a Centurion D6 Smart. You can see that it's completely made of steel. Got two bearings. The bottom bearing is the open-sided bearing, and then the top side bearing is then obviously sealed. You've got a plastic coupling that connects into your electrical motor. It's a very short, stubby, thick main worm gear, and it's well supported. So my concern with this video is Centurion Systems knows something we don't know. But if we look at the main gear system, it's supported with only one bearing on the inside. And you've got a bearing carrier that then bolts onto the base of the gate motor. If you turn it around, this is the release mechanism of the gate motor. It doesn't spin at all. You'll see it's got a hexagon 6-way, so it stands dead still. And there's no bearing on the inside here, which means is it will support the motor, the main shaft, to a certain extent. We'll have to wait and see how long it takes for this plastic brim to wear out. There's not a lot of oil in this gearbox. So basically how the system works is when you place the gate motor onto manual, this is going to be pushed in, which will then obviously push the pin to the left, and then your gate motor is going to be in the manual position. This main gear will spin freely. So what we've seen in South Africa, in Gauteng, in 20 years' time, installers are not following the basic principles. Under no circumstances should your gate rail force down on the pinion gear. So normally what happens is they install it poorly, and you've got this flexing of it because they've welded it badly, and at times it forces down onto the motor, so you're getting this action. And this is my concern, where Centurion says this gate motor will last 200,000 cycles. And if your installation isn't properly maintained, I doubt that it will last 200,000 cycles. We're going to replace these holders and guides quickly if the installation is poorly done. The problem with the Centurion D6 Smart is that it's made for a heavier gate, so your installation can be a little bit off, and because of all of the power that the gate motor has, it's not going to detect the fault so easily, but you will still have strain on your system, which will allow for premature failure of your components. Let me just see if we can press it in so you can see how it works when it goes on to manual. There you can see it's quite a lot of force that's needed. But basically, when you push it up into the manual position, this pin is slide forward, your pin comes out, and then your main gear can rotate. I'm just going to rotate it until it clicks, so that you can see when it goes into gear. So if you do make the mistake of pushing the gate closed, and while it's closing, you put it into gear, you're going to break this pin there. It's only a casted pin, so they've got a weak spot. Let's quickly show you this pin. This is also plastic with a steel pin. This is the one that basically pushes your block out of position to get the gate motor onto manual. Let's see if we can do it. You can see it, quite a lot of force. So yeah, what we'll have to do is just compare this with the D5 Evo, so that you guys can get a better understanding of what my concerns are with these motors. But otherwise, they're still good motors. They should last for a long time if professionally installed and maintained on a yearly basis. So quickly coming back to the casing. So that's only a seal that you see down there, the blue one. That's to prevent oil from leaking out of the gate motor. On the front side, we've got a cover that we can remove for electrical wiring, just tilted like that. So you can see the old D3s and D5s, we would run the wires through there, but the new motor has got another space there to run electrical wires through. So if you look at the molding process, the support of the motor base, I've used obviously a lot less plastic to mold this new base. It's quite light. So there on the front side you can see it's a hexagon. Which means it's not spinning at all. Alright, first things first, your main gear with a bearing carrier needs to go in first. You'll see it's got a slot here, and that slot fits in there. And then the other thing that you need to make sure about is your hexagon. Is that lined up? The hexagon, right. Just quickly get it in there. Slides in. Slides in. When you do put it back together like this, make sure that your seal on the inside, the orange seal, is seated firmly, and then we can quickly secure the 4 Torx screws. And the grooves have already been cut by the screws, so there's no need to use a lot of force. Just trying to keep my hands out of the camera's way. I've seen on videos in YouTube where the hands are in the way and one cannot see what the technician specialist is doing. I didn't take the pinion gear off this shaft. That was not the intention. Just want to turn it. I'm right-handed. Well, that's the top view. We did extract a tot and a half full of oil out of this gate motor gearbox. So that one was halfway. This one's obviously full. So if we turn the main gear, just let the oil seep through. Right, next is the worm gear. Remember, the bearing can go in any direction. That goes down into the bottom. We're just going to line it up. Seat it. Here's your worm gear. We'll go down. You saw that the main shaft that was out of picture. Basically, as I moved the worm gear into position, let's see if we can do it. Just notice this pinion gear. It starts turning. There we go. That's seated. And now you've got your orange seal that basically fits over the bearing. And then you've got your electrical motor. So guys, putting back the electrical motor, it can be 180 degrees off. That's not what you want. I'll show you now why. Your manual release door sensor holder is held in place by this aluminium bracket. So you can swap it out 180 degrees, but then it's going to be loose. So your gate motor, the electrical motor, is then secured in this fashion, and that keeps your manual release sensor wire in place. You can quickly secure the 4 Torx screws onto the base, and tighten them only. Don't force it, don't strip it, because once they are stripped, there's not much of a recovery that we can do about it. The other aspect that I wanted to allude you to is on your electrical motor. I'm just going to quickly take it out. You've got these slots. So these slots will keep the controller card holder in place, because that's one of the fundamental aspects, is keeping it in place in order to read the magnets that are situated on the electrical shaft, electrical motor shaft. That is the new DOS system on the D6 Smarts. On your manual release handle, it's got a note, there is a screw molded into the casing. So when you bring it in, it needs to line up everything. You can put your Allen cap bolt in, make sure it goes down there, it clicks. Then you can use your Allen cap to secure it. Again, just hand tighten it, don't force it. See where it sits. You can see that there we go. You check it that it places the gate motor onto manual, and then when you close it, just need the keys for it. Closes in there. Just want to turn it a bit. Basically, if we turn it now, there it's in gear. That's how easy it is. Right, if you quickly look, your manual release sensor wire is basically kept in place in that fashion. So we're just going to quickly put the wire around there. The door must be open in order for you to clip in the base. So that goes basically in over to there, then it slides down. It does happen that it slides out there. Just keep it in place. Snap it into position, and then just make sure that your manual release wires are not pinched Right, we look at the controller card holder. The magnets is the new DOS on the gate motor. The magnets slide in here. Then we've got two slots and we've got two plastic pins. They basically clicks into position, and the controller card is held in position by these prongs on all three sides. All you need to do is place it over, press down firmly and turn it into position. And then you can close it. So your controller card holder is kept in position by all of these aspects. If your controller card is not clicked into position like that, you're going to have troubles. So your battery holder cover, make sure that your motor electrical wires are out of the way. You can just clip them in there. Your manual release override wire, make sure you don't pinch it. This cover just goes in over it. Your door must be open. Just going to put that through there. That goes in underneath there. Just line it all up. And then your plastic base just clips in. There we go. Now you can just check your key. See if your red slots on both sides are working. Obviously, if you want to keep your gate motor on manual for some reason, just take the slot, push it in to there until it clicks. And you can close the door. Then it will be on manual forever until you open it again. You'll have to use two fingers, pull the one back, and then pull back with your thumb. Right, the controller card is just clipped into position. You'll see on the controller card you've got two plastic clips. Clips on this side. When you push it down, clicking noise. And again, your power supply. I have to move the camera down a bit. It's got its own slots where it just plugs in or slides in. Just make sure that your motor wires are out of the way. Hold it like that. And then you can just click it into position. All of your motor plugs, your wires, override sensors, and now lastly your gate motor cover. Lock it all in position. Everything plugged in. I'm just leaving it like this. I'm installing it again. Put your cover on. Slide it over, check that your lock is working. Cover can't be removed. If you unlock it, cover out. Cool, that's it guys. Thanks for watching.